Hey folks, welcome to PlayBranson, the show about shows where you get to know Branson's entertainers better. I'm your host, Chris Meyer, and on the show today, I have Luke Menard with New South. Now, New South is part of the Grand Jubilee show over at the Grand Country Music Hall. Now, it's been a really long time since Luke's been on the show, so I'm excited to have him back. Now, we like to give tips here, and one of the things I want to tell you about is if you're bringing a group to Branson, I've got the perfect resource for you. It's the Ozark Trails magazine, started by Bud Lynn years ago. And so you can go to ozarktrailsmagazine.com to get your copy or see one online. So if you're planning a reunion, family reunion, motor coach group to Branson, be sure to check out this magazine. Now, today's episode is brought to you by ibranson.com, where you can plan your entire Branson vacation. So be sure to check them out at ibranson.com. And if you're looking for show schedules in Branson tonight, or maybe what attractions are open, you can now go to thevacationchannel.com and see Branson's show and attraction schedules. So click on the schedule button in the top right-hand corner and you'll get the latest information. We'll be back with Luke Menard in just a moment. Hang tight. Have you seen our new PlayBranson magazine? Well, if you want to know more about Branson's shows, attractions, golf, the lakes, and more, you need to get the PlayBranson magazine. It's free. It's located all over town in racks, so be sure to pick up a PlayBranson magazine. Hey folks, welcome back to PlayBranson. And on today's show, I have Luke Menard, who is with New South over at Grand Country, part of the Grand Jubilee. And so welcome back, because it's been forever since you've been on the show.
It's been, what, 7 years, 8 years almost,
a long
I think?
time. You were on episode number 3.
Wow.
And now this is like 385. Woo! I'm like, there's some years. There's some years there.
I was one of the originals.
You were one of the first 10, yeah.
Wow. Now, why did it take so long for me to come back? That's a good question.
That's a good question. And here's what I tell people is we're always trying to get new entertainers, because there's so many in Branson that, and it's hard because I only have so many segments a year. So,
absolutely.
But welcome back.
Thanks for having me back, though. I'm happy to be back.
Yeah.
Here.
So tell people kind of about your musical journey and like, how did you get to Branson? And I know there's a lot of steps along the way.
Yeah. So I grew up in Indiana. Never had any goals of singing or performing when I was growing up. That was never on my radar. I went to college and met some guys, got into music, was into the choral stuff at my college at Millikan University. It's a big music school. Met some guys and we formed an a cappella group, started doing pop jazz a cappella. And after we graduated college, we went on the road for 12 years. So that was a full-time thing for us for 12 years. And then after that, well, actually in the middle of that 12 years of touring, I was on American Idol. And then after I got off American Idol, I lived in Los Angeles for a few years. And then had a baby on the way. My daughter now is 13 years old. So moved to Branson to not raise a child in Los Angeles. And moved to Branson, been here ever since. And when I moved to Branson, I said, I will never be in a Branson show. And here I am 13 years later, still in a Branson show.
Okay, I want to dig a little bit more into this, because when you were in college, did you go for music or did you just happen to be taking a music class?
So I initially went for music. I was going to major in music. And then when I got into the theory part of music and the composition, that's when I was like, oh, okay, and that's not the stuff I like so much. I just want to perform. I just want to sing. So I was still involved heavily in music, but I ended up changing my major to business and communication. So that my degree is a business communication degree. But I was almost like it was almost like a second major or a minor sort of in music.
So were you doing music in high school then? Like, why did you want to go to college and major in music?
Yeah, great question. So my sister, who was 3 years older than me, forced me to be in the choir in high school. And she forced me to audition for the choir teacher. And once I auditioned, so the only thing I did in high school, I was in choir. And then I was in the musicals every year. I was kind of nudged into the musicals. But that's when I was like, this music thing is kind of cool. It's kind of fun. And I started doing that a little bit more than sports. And I thought, this is something I could probably do long term. I don't think I'm going to be a baseball player when I'm 46, probably ever. So that's kind of how it started in high school. And then I visited some colleges and started auditioning for their choral programs, and that's how I ended up at Millikan University.
Okay. Well, I do have to say, I was in choir in high school as well.
Yeah.
And I wanted to be a rock star. I had long hair, but I didn't get as far as you. And I didn't go to college for music. So, but
You still could be a rock star.
I could. Well, I don't have much hair left, though. That's the problem. Because back in the day, you'd have long hair.
I remember you saying that the other night too. That you had long. You were telling Barry that you had long hair.
Oh yeah. And so when I was in high school, we'll divert here for a second. We had a lip sync contest, and so that was the closest. And we came in second, and we hired this fog machine from like somewhere else. The guy came in. We didn't tell anybody about it. We set off the fire alarms, but it was fun. It was fun. So anyway, enough on that. So you're touring with this a cappella group for 12 years.
Yeah.
What was the name of that?
Chapter 6.
And so was that a Christian-based, secular?
Yeah, we were Christian-based. We did a lot of churches. We toured churches. We mostly toured colleges. We did something called the NACA circuit, which is a National Association for Campus Activities. We would go to a big city like Nashville and audition for 3,000 colleges. Well, I call it an audition, but it was like a 15-minute performance. And then after that, we would sit down with our agent in the big marketplace, and then all these college students would come up and just book us for the year. So sometimes we would book 90 gigs in one night, and that would just set up our whole year of tours. So we did mostly colleges, performing arts venues, and churches. We did one tour to Hong Kong. We also went to Africa one time. We did a lot of Canadian tours with some symphonies. So it was just a great experience.
So you had really, I mean, those were kind of a lot of years of being on the road, doing these things. And so after that, you said American Idol. So did you eventually like, hey, I'm stopping this, getting into American Idol, or how did that all happen?
So it was about 7 years into our touring that I thought, you know what, why not give it a shot? American Idol was kind of the big thing at that time. It was kind of the peak of American Idol, and I went and auditioned thinking that, hey, I'm probably going to get a no, and then I'll be done with that, and I can move on and just say, hey, I gave it a shot. Well, I auditioned and I made it past the first round, and I kept making it past, and I was like, oh man, this is going to really mess up my touring with my buddies. But they were very supportive. One cool fact is the first live episode on American Idol, I mentioned Chapter 6. I mentioned our a cappella group. They did one little, like a 10-second little reel of Chapter 6, and our website shut down in like 5 minutes. So
the power of television.
That's right. That's right. That's what we're doing right here.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. But we're not American Idol yet. So how far did you get in that then?
So I was on season 7 and made it down to the last 8 guys.
That's pretty awesome.
7. There were 8 guys and 8 girls left at that point.
Earlier I saw a picture, and I think was it David Cook that ended up winning, right? Your season. And he was from Kansas City.
Yeah, Kansas City. Yeah, that's right.
And
David Cook won, and David Archuleta was the runner-up. So it was the year of the 2 Davids.
Yeah, and of course David Archuleta has performed and been around, and there are even some other people that were in your group, you've heard of since American Idol.
Right.
So you come to Branson. What happens?
So I came to Branson, and I had about 80 concerts still booked with Chapter 6 the rest of the year. And I moved here, and I had a friend who I knew who was in Pierce Arrow Quartet. He was just filling in temporarily. And he knew that I moved here. So within 3 days, he calls me and asked me if I wanted to come in and talk to the Pierce Arrow Quartet. So I got offered a job to be in that show. I was in that show for 3 years, and I was still kind of finishing up touring. We were kind of starting to slow down on the road. Most of the guys were married. We were all starting to have kids. So we kind of realized that most of our touring days were behind us. So that's when I made the decision about a year after moving here to just be here, don't go on the road anymore. For a while, we did some Christmas tours. We would go on the road for maybe a week in December and just hit up some venues that we did in the past that asked us to come back. So I was in Pierce Arrow for 3 years, and then I got recruited by Mike Patrick in the New South Quartet 3 years after that, and that was already 11 years ago. So I've been in New South for 11 years now in the country.
Long time. And so you're you and Mark are kind of the two old timers, for lack of a better word, in New South now.
Yeah, he's been in there since the beginning, and I think I'm the second longest quartet member that's been in the group so far.
Yeah. Okay.
So,
well, we're going to come back, folks, here in just a second and talk more about the show Luke is in now. So hang tight, and we're going to talk more about New South and Grand Country and Grand Jubilee, all that out there. Hang tight. Going to Branson for some relaxation and fun? You've got to stay with Branson's award-winning hotel family, Meyer Hotels. Meyer Hotels features 4 hotels in Branson with the best locations for your trip. Choose from brands you know and trust, like the Holiday Inn Express on Green Mountain Drive, the Best Western Centerpoint Inn, Comfort Inn at Thousand Hills, and the Comfort Inn and Suites. Enjoy refreshing indoor pools and hot tubs. Do you like free? How about a free hot breakfast each morning? Free vacation planning services, and of course, smiles are always free. Want even more value? Go to MeyerHospitality.com and join our e-club to save 15% off your next stay and check out incredible deals with our vacation packages. Call 1-877-FUN-STAY to book Branson's award-winning hotels or visit MeyerHospitality.com. It's your safe choice for award-winning lodging in Branson. MeyerHospitality.com. Hey folks, welcome back to the show. And on today's show, we have Luke Menard, and he is with a quartet called New South.
Yeah.
And you guys are at the Grand Country Complex Hall.
That's right. Yeah.
But the show is Grand Jubilee.
Grand Jubilee at Grand Country at the Music Hall. We're there 6 nights a week, year round, which is rare for a show to be a year. I think we might be the only show that's open year round. We take off a week in January and then a week off in August, but other than that, we're pretty much going full speed ahead.
And I always say the people that work at Grand Country are probably some of the hardest working entertainers because of that, because you do a lot of shows.
Yes, especially the band. The band guys, they're there sometimes 3 shows a day on top of rehearsing in between shows. So those guys work super hard. I can't say I work as hard as them. If I do, they give you a bad look, because we pretty much roll in the evening and do a night show. Now we do a gospel show on Thursdays at 3 p.m. That's our Southern Gospel Quartet show. Other than that, we're just night shows. So
maybe somebody's never been to your show. They've never heard of it. Tell people what they're going to get.
So we consider our show a just kind of a classic variety show. We have a quartet. We do some country music, some gospel music. We do some decade. We kind of go through the decades in the second half and it's kind of a fast-paced show. We have a female singer, Jackie, who's my wife.
You just got married recently.
Back in June.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And then Mike Patrick is our host, MC, also the producer. And then we have a comedian, Jamie Hagee. And then it just kind of rotates between all those acts throughout the show. So that's kind of our formula, and it works. The audiences love it. It's fast-paced. It's family-friendly. And it's been around for a long time, and I don't think the show's going anywhere for a while. So job security.
Yeah.
It's a good job security.
Well, and that is the thing, is it's a stable show in town. And I would call it what I'd call a typical Branson show. And what I mean by that is there's an MC, there's comedy. Not everybody does that anymore, but it's one of the what I call traditional Branson variety shows, which is exactly what you said.
Yeah.
And of course, Mark McCauley, been on for a long time on the show, great bass singer, and he's used to work with Mel Tillis and some of those people.
He did. Sang with Mel for a while, sang with Loretta Lynn for a long time. He's singing some quartets that were on, I think, the top 20 charts back in the 80s. So he's been singing for a long time, and he's still hitting those low notes every night.
And he moonwalks in the show,
Yes,
kind of crazy. And you guys as a group, you have some interesting banter that sometimes happens in the show, which is fun.
It's different every night too.
Yeah.
So that banter can change. Sometimes it can get out of control. So we have to kind of, watch ourselves and not let that get out of hand sometimes.
Yeah, and so you kind of play there's one banter there where you're kind of the mean guy, I guess. I would say. Yeah.
When I get upset because I'm not able to sing bass, and they're not going to let me sing because I'm the tenor.
Right.
So the tenor trying to sing bass, it doesn't work. But in the show, I try to sing bass, and Mark gets mad. He quits and walks off stage, and then I take over as the bass singer, and it falls apart.
Yeah.
I'm a terrible bass singer. So yeah, that's kind of a fun little banter bit we have in the show.
So folks, if you haven't seen the show, you need to check it out. You're going to laugh. You're going to get great music. And it's not too big of a theater, so you got an intimate feel.
Yeah.
The other thing, and I just saw the show, so I do know all about it because I was just there. But you guys will come out at intermission and interact with the crowd where they can get signatures and sign.
And almost every night people thank us for doing that. And sometimes as an entertainer, that can be sometimes honestly the most draining part of the show is interacting with people, because when you get on stage and you do the same script every night, you can kind of check out mentally and just hit cruise control, and you know what's going to happen. It's all predictable. when you meet people every night at intermission, it's very unpredictable. So you don't know what kind of conversation you're going to have, but that is something that we do, and we make sure that we meet with the audience members. We're available. So we sit at the front of the stage, and they come by and talk, and we interact with them, and we enjoy that too. We like to get to know the people that come to our town to visit.
Besides an entertainer, you have a couple other roles that you do here in the community. Let's talk about those for a moment.
So there's two other things I do. So I opened up my real estate brokerage, Menard Realty Group, about a year and a half ago. So I've been an agent since 2018. So I help people buy homes and sell homes. About a year ago, I started as the executive director for the Branson Regional Arts Council. And the Arts Council owns the Owen Theater, which is downtown, the historic Owen Theater. We put on 8 main stage productions per year. We're getting ready to open up Shrek. That's going to run for 2 weeks from October 16th to the 26th. We do summer youth camps, and we have an art gallery at the convention center. So we do a lot of things at the Arts Council. So I took that role on about a year ago. My predecessor was Jim Barber. He was there for almost 8 years. He did a lot for the Arts Council.
He really elevated that for you to come in, right?
He did.
He really did.
He did so much, and I didn't realize how much he did until I jumped into the role. And I'm still learning. There's things I'm still learning that he did that I'm just now discovering. So he did so. I don't think people realize how much he did for the Arts Council. He really did a lot.
Yeah, he did. We were talking between the sets here how you sold like one of the Haley, who used to be on the show at the very beginning. You sold her home like 4 times. So,
yes, at the same house 4 times.
Anyway, so
the house next door I'm closing on next week. So it's been a good little neighborhood for me.
Yeah. So maybe I don't know. I feel like I had a little bit in there indirectly.
I think I owe you a commission.
Yeah,
probably.
there we go.
So,
maybe
referral fee.
Something. So tell people when you guys perform again. Give us times.
At Grand Country?
Yes, at Grand Country.
Grand Country, we are 6 nights a week. We're Monday through Saturday night. Show is at 7:30 p.m. and that's for Grand Jubilee. We have Sundays off. We also have a Thursday matinee at 3 o'clock, which is our Southern Gospel Quartet show. It's called the New South Gospel Show. That's my personal favorite show that we do is a gospel show. I love singing gospel quartet music. And that's seasonal. That's only in the spring and the fall.
Okay.
We take the summer off for the gospel show, but we started that back up a few weeks ago. And then we also have our late night Branson Country USA. That air, we record that. We record it live on Friday nights at 10 p.m. So it's from 10:30 to 11:30 every Friday night.
And do you have to learn new stuff on that?
Every Friday night we're doing new songs.
Folks, that's tough.
Yeah.
So that's why I say you guys are the hardest working entertainers. Now, this when we launch this episode, we're going to be almost into Christmas.
Okay.
So does the show change at Christmas? Is it partial Christmas, all Christmas? Like, tell us what you know.
It does. So usually the 1st or 2nd of November, depending on how the calendar falls, we open up our Christmas show. So the first half of our show will switch over to Christmas. The second half of our show will be our normal regular show that we do throughout the entire year. So first half Christmas, second half is our regular show, and that opens the beginning of November, which the whole town is going to be Christmas here. We're just a few weeks away from Christmas.
I know, it's crazy.
It's coming.
It's not very far away. So folks, if you haven't planned your trip to Branson, be sure to check out Grand Country, Grand Comedy. I mean, there's so many shows there. I'm starting to get them all. But you're at Grand Jubilee.
That's right.
Over at the Grand Country Music Hall. They have a huge complex there. You can go eat. You can shop. You can ride go-karts. You can play mini golf. Like, there's a ton of stuff.
You can spend the night at the hotel.
Well, yeah, you can. You can. So, folks, Luke, good to have you back on the show.
Thanks for having me back.
Man, you've been in Branson for a long time now, and so we just appreciate all you do for the community. And folks, if you need a realtor, you might check him out. So we'll be back in just a second to wrap the show up.
There are so many things to do in Branson. You need help planning and booking all your fun. You need ibranson.com. You can find everything Branson has to offer from your computer, tablet, or cell phone. You can even buy tickets online or talk to one of their friendly Branson travel specialists. There's no sales pitches, no delivery fees, no service fees, and no waiting. It's fast and easy. Find your fun at ibranson.com. Do it all online or call 877-ENTERTAIN. That's 877-368-3782. ibranson.com.
Hey folks, welcome back to the show. We've been talking with Luke Menard with New South, part of the Grand Jubilee. Now, Grand Jubilee is located at the Grand Country Complex. That's located at 1945 West 76 Country Music Boulevard. The show plays 7:30 Monday through Saturday. They also have lots of other shows there as well. Now, if you need help booking tickets for the Grand Jubilee or any other show or attraction in Branson, be sure to call the folks at ibranson.com at 877-ENTERTAIN, or you can go onto the website at ibranson.com to start planning your next Branson vacation. Hey, if you want to see past episodes of Play Branson, you can do that on social media, on Facebook. You can go to our YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel as well at Play Branson. We launch a show about every week, and you can also find us on thevacationchannel.com. Be sure to go support live entertainment this week. Go see a show. That's it for today. We'll see you next week here on Play Branson.